You know that feeling when the week starts dragging, like you've been pushing a cart uphill since Monday and your soul is just ready to hit pause. Yeah. That's why I love Thursdays. Wait, don't scroll just yet. I know what you're thinking. Thursday? That random day between the chaos of Wednesday and the freedom of Friday? But hear me out. Thursday has potential. It's got magic. It's the golden hour of the week. It's the quiet before the weekend storm. It's your chance to reset before the final sprint. And today, I'm taking you with me as I get ready to enjoy every bit of it. Whether you're watching this during your lunch break, winding down for the evening, or just needing some background while you pretend to be productive, stay with me. This video is your Thursday recharge. Let's make it intentional. Let's make it cozy. Let's make Thursday the new favorite day of the week. The Thursday mindset shift. Alright, let's talk about the Thursday shift. Most of us treat Thursday like it's just pre-Friday. Like it's only good because it's close to the weekend. But that's selling it short. Thursday is the secret weapon of the week. It's the day where pressure starts to ease. It's when you still have time to turn the week around, but also close enough to taste freedom. So the first thing I do when I wake up on a Thursday? I remind myself, today isn't just filler. It matters. I slow it down a bit. I light a candle even if it's 8 a.m. I make a better breakfast, maybe even the fancy toast with toppings that make me feel like a Pinterest board. And I set a simple intention. Something like, I'm going to be kinder to myself today. I'm going to notice 3 small beautiful things. I'm not going to rush through everything. Just that, 5 seconds of focus, shifts how I move through the whole day. Morning moves and mood. Let's talk morning energy. On Thursdays, I don't go for the over-caffeinated, sprint out the door chaos. I aim for steady, grounding, intentional vibes. If I've got the time, I stretch. Not yoga, not a workout, just a slow stretch. A few minutes. Roll my shoulders. Breathe. Feel my body actually wake up. Then comes the outfit. Thursday's outfit has one rule: feel good in it. Not the trendiest thing, not the I have a meeting uniform. Just something that makes me feel like me. Soft fabrics, favorite colors, that one piece of jewelry I forget I own. And I play music while getting ready. Something warm. Think indie soul, light R&B, acoustic covers, songs that make you feel like the main character in a feel-good film. Then I make my drink, coffee, tea, matcha, whatever the mood says. And I take a few minutes to actually enjoy it. Not scroll through emails, not check Slack, just sip. You'd be surprised how 5 extra mindful minutes in the morning can shape an entire Thursday. Midweek motivation boost. Okay, so we've got the mood set. But eventually, the real world calls. Meetings, deadlines, errands. Thursdays still have stuff. So here's what I do to stay motivated without burnout. First, micro goals. Not a full to-do list. Just 3 things. I write them down. 1. One thing I have to do. 2. One thing I want to do. 3. One thing I've been avoiding but can finish in 10 minutes. Then I use the Thursday 25 inches rule. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. That's it. I set a timer. I don't even try to finish the whole thing. I just start. In between, I give myself permission to exist. Step outside for a few breaths. Watch a quick funny video. Send a message to a friend just saying, thinking of you. And if things start to feel too much, I remind myself, I don't need to do everything. Just something, because honestly, hustling yourself into exhaustion doesn't make Friday come faster, it just makes you too tired to enjoy it. The Thursday treat ritual. Now we get to the fun part. Every Thursday, I give myself a treat. Not as a reward. Not because I earned it. Just because life's too short not to. Sometimes it's food, a bakery run, ordering that one dish I've been craving, making breakfast for dinner. Sometimes it's comfort, watching my comfort show in the middle of the afternoon. Yes, even if I've seen it 17 times. Sometimes it's experience, lighting incense, listening to an album top to bottom, taking a longer walk around the block just to see how the light hits the buildings. And I make it intentional. I say out loud, "This is my Thursday treat." Why? Because we celebrate Friday and Saturday like they're the only good parts of the week, but joy on a Thursday? That's a power move. Connecting midweek. Another thing I love doing on Thursdays, reconnecting. Life gets busy. Weeks fly by. But Thursday is the perfect pause point to check in with people. So I'll text someone out of the blue. "Hey, this reminded me of you. Miss our talks, want to catch up soon?" Or sometimes, just sending a funny meme or throwback photo. You'd be surprised how many doors a tiny message opens. And hey, don't forget to check in with yourself, too. I'll journal for 5 minutes. What am I grateful for today? What's been stressing me out? What do I want to let go of before the weekend? Even a voice memo works. Just say what's on your mind. Let it out. That little midweek connection, whether with someone else or with yourself, grounds you. Centers you. It reminds you you're not alone in this whole life thing. Soft evenings, big energy. Now we're entering my favorite Thursday vibe, the soft evening. Thursday nights don't have to be wild or boring, they can be sacred. I start by dimming the lights. No harsh overheads. Lamps. Candles. String lights if I'm feeling cinematic. Then it's time for the Thursday night playlist. Slower. Richer. Songs you can sink into. I make dinner with intention, nothing fancy, just comforting. I eat without distractions if I can. Or I queue up a show I've been saving. Then, the wind down routine. Warm shower. PJs. Nighttime skincare. Maybe a book. Maybe just lying there, listening to music. Sometimes, I even do a little life admin, brain dump for Friday so it's out of my head. And before I sleep, I ask myself, what did I enjoy today? What am I proud of? What can I let go of until tomorrow? That's how I close out Thursday. Not with a bang. With a whisper that says, you did enough. You are enough. So, that's how I get ready to enjoy Thursday. Not by rushing through it. Not by wishing it was Friday. But by living it. By treating it like it deserves space, attention, joy. Because when you make space for even just one good moment on a Thursday, it echoes. Into Friday. Into the weekend. Into your whole sense of time. You don't have to wait for the weekend to feel alive. So now it's your turn. Get comfortable, keep your curiosity wide open, and buckle in. Because today, we're not just enjoying Thursday, we're taking it to the extreme. Waking up to Istanbul. The day begins with a sound. No, not my alarm. The call to prayer echoing across the rooftops as the sun rises over the Bosphorus. If you've never heard it, it's not just a sound. It's an experience. It hits you deep, like the city is singing to you. I open the window, and the breeze brings in a mix of fresh bread from the bakery downstairs and the faint smell of roasted chestnuts from a cart already setting up. And right there, I decide, I'm going all in today. But first, breakfast. Segment 2. The legendary Thursday breakfast. 10 o'clock 1800. If you've never had a Turkish breakfast on a Thursday morning in Istanbul, you're not living. This isn't cereal and coffee. No, this is a feast. I head to this family-run spot in Singer that looks modest from the outside but serves the kind of breakfast that could bring world peace. We're talking freshly baked simit, still warm. Menemen, which is basically scrambled eggs with tomatoes, peppers, and magic. Olives that don't taste anything like the ones in jars back home. Cheese. So much cheese. Bayez Peynir, Kasser, Tulum, all with their own personalities. Honeycomb with clotted cream so rich you'll forget your own name. And of course, Turkish tea. Bottomless. Steaming in tulip-shaped glasses. No rush. No to-go cups. Just slow sipping and good people watching. This breakfast? It's not just food. It's the warm-up for the adventure ahead. The Bazaar energy. Next stop, the Grand Bazaar. Now, listen. You haven't lived Thursday to the extreme in Istanbul if you haven't gotten a little lost in the Grand Bazaar. Picture this. Over 4,000 shops, centuries of history, a maze of colors, sounds, spices, jewelry, lamps, carpets, shouting, laughter. It's not shopping. It's sensory overload in the best way. I meet this old vendor named Kamal who's been selling rugs for 42 years. He offers me apple tea and tells me stories about carpets that have traveled more than most humans. And suddenly, I'm sitting on a pile of rugs, sipping tea, and learning how to read patterns like stories. Each knot, a secret. Each color, a symbol. Then I get pulled into a spice shop. The smell of saffron, sumac, dried rose, mint, like time travel through scent. I buy a little packet of Turkish coffee, not because I need more caffeine, but because I want to carry the vibe of that shop with me. Crossing continents for lunch. Here's the crazy part. In Istanbul, you can literally change continents on your lunch break. So I hop on a ferry, yes, a ferry, and cruise from Europe to Asia. The ride itself is part of the magic. The seagulls glide alongside. The city stretches behind me like a painting. Street musicians play soft tunes on the deck. 20 minutes later, boom, I'm in Kadıköy. A whole different energy. Lunch? Lahmacun and ayran at a tiny joint tucked between bookstores. The lahmacun is thin, crisp, spicy. You roll it with parsley and lemon and eat it with your hands, no shame. And then a coffee at a local cafe where cats outnumber customers. One hops into my lap. No one cares. This is just life here. Extreme Thursday moments. Okay. Time to turn things up. Every Thursday, something interesting happens in Istanbul if you know where to look. Today, it's a street performance near Galata Tower. A small crowd has gathered. Someone's playing the saz. A whirling dervish begins to spin, not for show, but for real. It's not staged. It's spontaneous. And it moves you. Afterward, I decide to get a Turkish shave. Yeah, the full thing, hot towel, straight razor, cologne, even a quick shoulder massage. My barber doesn't speak much English, but we exchange nods and laughter like we've known each other for years. Then a walk along Istiklal Street. It's golden hour. The street performers, the scent of roasted corn, the chatter of 1,000 languages, it feels like a heartbeat. And then, sunset. Sunset at the edge of the world. I head to a rooftop in Karaköy, one of those places you have to know to find. No signs. Just a door, a staircase, and then, bam! The view. The Bosphorus below. The mosques on the horizon. The whole city bathed in gold and pink. I order a pomegranate juice. I don't speak. I just exist. Next to me, a local couple laughs softly. Behind me, someone's playing soft jazz from a speaker. And in that moment, I realize, this is it. This is the extreme joy of Thursday in Istanbul. Not because it's loud or wild or over the top, but because it's real, immersive, and full of soul. So here's the thing. You can spend a Thursday anywhere. Doing anything. But in Istanbul, Thursday isn't just another day. It's a journey. From the rooftops to the Bosphorus. From the call to prayer to the clink of teacups. It's the kind of day that stays with you. A feeling you carry long after the sun sets. And the best part? You don't need a plan. You just need open eyes, a hungry heart, and the courage to say yes to a little adventure. If you ever get the chance, come here. Live a Thursday like this. Lose the map. Ride the ferry. Talk to strangers. Let the city show you who it is. You know those nights that start out normal, then slowly become legendary? That's exactly what happened when my girlfriend and I decided, totally on a whim, to spend our Thursday night at an Irish pub in the middle of Istanbul. Yeah. You heard that right. Not Dublin. Not Cork. Istanbul. And somehow, it was one of the most unforgettable nights we've ever had. This isn't just about drinks or dancing, it's about music, people, chaos, laughter, and all the little moments you never plan for but somehow remember forever. So buckle up. Pour yourself a drink if you're feeling it. Because tonight, we're having a blast. The spontaneous plan, it all started with this lazy idea. Let's do something fun tonight. You know those evenings where the sky's fading orange, the city's buzzing, and you know something interesting is waiting just around the corner? We'd had a long week. Nothing dramatic, just the usual work grind. But we were both itching for something that felt different. Something a little offbeat. And I said, "What about an Irish pub?" My girlfriend looked at me like I'd lost it. In Istanbul? Exactly. So we threw on our jackets, hopped in a cab, and headed toward Beyoğlu, the neighborhood where Istanbul never sleeps. Arriving at the pub, now let me paint this for you. We step into this dimly lit Irish pub, wood-paneled walls, vintage Guinness signs, thick wooden bar, Irish flags tucked between bottles of Jameson and Baileys. Live music in the back. Clinking glasses. A guy in a flat cap already dancing by himself. And we just grinned. You know when you walk into a place and the vibe just hits? Like, yup, this is where we're meant to be tonight. We find a table close to the stage. There's a candle flickering between us. The server shows up with a smile, asks if we want the usual, even though we've never been here. Love that energy. We order a couple of pints, mine a Guinness, hers a cider, and the night begins. First drinks and vibes, that first sip of Guinness in an Irish pub just hits different. It's smooth, rich, cozy. Like wearing a wool sweater for your soul. And the cider? Crisp, refreshing, with just enough kick to make my girlfriend raise her eyebrows and say, "Yep. We're doing this." The music's starting to pick up. Some guy with a guitar and a mandolin player doing a live cover of Whiskey in the Jar. And suddenly, the pub starts shifting. You know? People are singing. Laughing louder. Toasting strangers. We're sitting there, 2 drinks in, already talking to the couple next to us. Turns out they're visiting from Germany. We swap stories about Turkish breakfasts, getting lost in the Grand Bazaar, and how none of us planned to be here, but are so glad we are. The food and flirting. Here's the underrated part of a night out in a pub, the food. We ordered fish and chips. Because, obviously. And a little plate of Irish cheddar with pickles and thick rye bread that my girlfriend claimed was, honestly, life-changing. The fish was golden and crispy, fries thick and salty. Total comfort food. And with the third round of drinks, we were officially leaning in. That's when the flirting really began. You know those playful looks, the whispered jokes you only tell when the music's too loud and you have to lean in close. Yeah. We were deep in that zone. Between bites and sips, we were locked into each other, but somehow still part of the wild crowd around us. Singing, shots and strangers. So here's where things got a little blurry. Someone bought us a round of shots, we still don't know who. Just a hand in the dark, 2 glasses of something green, and a wink from the bartender. It tasted like mint and mistakes. But we were already too deep in the moment to care. The band kicked off a cover of Galway Girl, and suddenly half the pub was on its feet. Next thing I know, I'm dancing with my girlfriend in a crowd of half-sober strangers, hands in the air, trying to sing along, failing gloriously. And there's this moment, a freeze frame in my memory, where she looked at me mid-laugh, hair a little messy, cheeks flushed, pint in one hand, and I just thought, this right here. This is what it means to be alive. Pub conversations. After the music slowed down, we ended up outside for some fresh air, because, let's be honest, Irish pubs get steamy. That's where we met this older Irish guy, Tom. Big smile, weathered face, voice like gravel. Turns out he's lived in Istanbul for 12 years and claims this pub saved him. He tells us about moving here after a heartbreak, how the city slowly gave him back his rhythm, and how, the right pint, in the right pub, with the right people, that's as close to therapy as a man can get, and we believed him. Conversations like that, they just don't happen unless you're in the right place at the right time. The lingering goodbye, we finally head back inside for just one more drink, which, of course, turns into two. The crowd's thinning. The music's softer now. Maybe it's the sixth drink, maybe it's the hour, but everything feels warmer, slower, more real. We sit close, shoulders touching, sharing one last basket of fries like it's sacred. And that's when my girlfriend leans over and says, "We should do this again. Just chase random nights," and I nod, because yeah. This isn't just about beer or live music. It's about us, how the world shrinks in moments like these. How strangers become familiar. How laughter makes you forget your worries. How something as random as an Irish pub in Istanbul can suddenly feel like home. So yeah, what started as a casual night turned into a full-blown experience. We didn't plan it. We didn't overthink it. We just went. And we let the city surprise us. That's the beauty of Istanbul. It's ancient and chaotic, soulful and strange, and somehow, it has room for everything. Even an Irish pub where two people can fall in love all over again. If you ever find yourself here, don't just visit the mosques and markets. Find the weird places. The cozy corners. The loud nights with good music and better strangers. Because that's where the magic is. Thanks for coming along for the ride. If you liked this video, hit like. If you loved it, hit subscribe. And if you've ever had a night like this, spontaneous, chaotic, perfect, drop it in the comments. I want to hear your story. Until next time. Stay curious. Stay present. And never underestimate the power of a Thursday night in a pub with the right person. Cheers. Clinking glasses.